Hi everyone, my name is Neville Anozia. Welcome to day one of the Faith Power 5 Days Challenge. Today our team will be talking about the power of faith. Now, why am I doing this? Even as a life coach and as somebody who is an individual, I've come to realize that most of us do not achieve what we want. The reason being, we do not have a strong faith or belief or firm expectation of what we are asking God for or what it is that we want in life. Sometimes we ask and ask and ask and we don't receive and we forget about it and move on. I believe that a lot of people will achieve much more if they believe that whatever it is that they want, they will get. So when we have a strong faith, when we have a strong conviction, when we have a strong belief, we will do the necessary things, take the necessary actions that are required in order for us to achieve what it is that we want. So for the next 5 days, my hope is that by the time we complete this 5 days program, everyone would have reached a certain level of expectation, a certain level of faith in them, that whatever it is that they desire and they put their mind into it, they will be able to achieve it. So first of all, today we'll be talking about the power of faith, and I'll be giving some strong points. And those points I expect and hope that by the end, as you go through the day, you'll be thinking about these things so that you will increase your level of faith consciousness. Also, there'll be exercises and practices for you to do. I ask that you please do them, because that's the point of this challenge. It is a challenge. It will take you to do things that you don't normally do. So we need to go out of our habitual ways and start increasing our faith consciousness. So first of all, we will start with looking at the Bible. Matthew chapter 9, verses 17. I'll just get my Bible. Here, there's my Bible. So I'm just going to read it. So Matthew chapter 9 verses 17 says, "Neither do men put new wine into old bottles, else the bottles break, and the wine runneth out, and the bottles perish. But they that put new wine into new bottles, and both are preserved." So the reason I've picked up this verse is because we need to start looking differently, looking at our life, at our situation, our goals, our family in a different, fresh, new look. Previously, we've been looking at all the goals and what we want in life that we've not been able to achieve. I think most people tend to look at the negative side of things. But starting from today to Friday, we will try to look at it differently. I know that there might be goals, or there might be things that you have asked God for or believed in yourself and have not achieved them. But let's just put all those old habitual ways of thinking aside and start fresh. You're waking up this morning nice and fresh and looking at things with a very new look and a new perception. So the second point I would like to state also is, how do we measure our faith? For me personally, I believe that faith is measured from a scale of 1 to 100. There are some things that I really have faith in, and it works for me. There are some things that I know 101% that this will happen, and it does happen. And there are some things I don't really have strong faith in, and it doesn't happen. I didn't come to realize that the reason why sometimes we want something or we have strong faith in some things. I mean, you can look at your life as well. Think about it. What are the things that are working out for you? Those things that are working out for you are those things which you believe will work out for you. Are those things which your values or beliefs are core, and you know without a doubt that it would work out for you. And those are the things that you're achieving. The things that you're not getting, or the things that are not showing up in your life that you want, are things that you do not have strong faith in. So there are things that we have 100% faith in, and when we look at them, they always work out for us. And there are some things that we don't have 100% faith in, that they don't. Perhaps you have 40% or 50%, or maybe 60%, or in some cases, maybe even 20%. And we do not feel very confident about it, and they don't show up in our lives. So henceforth, I would advise that you start looking at things that you want. Perhaps go into your list, go into your goals. We'll be talking about that in a few minutes. When you go into look at your goals and start to think, there's something that I've put there for a long time that I have not seen. How do I measure my faith in relation to that particular goal? And then you would begin to see, how confident am I that I will be able to achieve this? And then you will begin to see that, and then compare that with the ones that you expect, you confidently expect it, and it happens. So if you compare those two, you realize that on one of your goals, or one of the things that you want, you have 100% on, and the other ones, or maybe even at least over 90%, you're so sure, and the other ones, you're not so sure. So as we carry on through to today, as we go on in our lives today, let's just, when things come into our mind, you begin to think, oh, I've been expecting that, but I've been wanting that, and I haven't gotten it, or I've been expecting that call, and I haven't received it. What's happening? Perhaps it is the fact that there are things that I should have, my level of expectation, my level of confidence is low. Maybe that's the reason why my faith is probably low. That's the reason why I haven't received it. And the ones that I have, maybe my faith is high. If you do think about these things, you realize that I'm making some points. Now, the third thing I want to talk about is a negative and a positive faith. Most people do not know that there is such a thing called a negative faith. We all know faith, but there is a negative and there's a positive faith. Faith in the bad things feared is a negative faith. Faith in the good things desired is a positive faith. So there is a negative faith and there is a positive faith. If we look into our lives, there are so many things that we fear that happens. Why? Because we give emotions to it. We believe it, and it happens to us. Bad happenings. We're scared that we've applied for a job. Perhaps they won't take us. We get a letter, we get an email, you were not successful. There are things that we want, and we know, even though we want them, when we measure our faith, we know that we will not get them. Because even though we're applying, or even though we're making that call, or even though we're sending that email, we already have it in our mind that they will not call us, or we will not get that money, or one thing or the other will go wrong. What happens? It goes wrong. Why? Because you are already expecting it. Remember, faith is trust, expectation, hope, or belief in something. So when you see things happening to you that you do not want, you have faith in those things. When you also see things that you do want that happen to you, you also have faith in those things. So now that we know, for today, let us begin to analyze things that we fear. For me, I have my fears, and I know previously when I think of those fears, it happens. I might not get that call, or I might see this that I don't want to see, or I might start the car and it might not start. What happens in a day or two? Exactly, my fears come to pass. Until I started realizing, going deep into this, and knowing that I was the cause of making these bad happenings happen to me. Now, whenever I think of anything that is bad relating to my life, immediately I switch my thoughts and turn it around and say an affirmation to stop it. So anything that we see that is happening in our life that we do not want, we have called for it. Even though a lot of people will say, no, I didn't bargain for it. There is no way I would have wanted this to happen to me. I'm saying to you that you are the ones that have brought it into your life. Because our self-talk most times are mostly negative. If you listen to your self-talk, not what you speak, but what the thoughts, the things that are going inside your mind. Oh, something's going to happen to me. Maybe that car is going to hit this, or maybe that's going to be. When you begin to put a lot of emotions into something that is feared, it happens. So that which you fear happens. that which you desire as well happen. So starting now, begin to think when you're scared of something. I might not get a job. I might not get that money. Or how am I going to manage? All those things you are bringing to your life. So begin to reject and refuse to think about those things. The fourth one I want to talk about is, I want to mention that the reason for our lack of faith is that we look at the desired state, our state now. We look at our state. For instance, if I'm poor, very poor, or I'm looking for a job and I don't have a job, and I'm looking for a job, I'm looking at the situation as I am now without the job, jobless. And so my faith is reduced, or probably no faith at all, because I'm looking at my eyes through my present state. But it is said, as it is said in the Bible, that the true test of faith is not to believe in the seen, but the acceptance of the unseen. Because if I believe that I already have what I want, then I will not be worried or still thinking about that. So faith is already something that you already believe in, something that's already happened. You haven't seen it, but you believe it's happening. You give thanks for it and go along believing that it will come to pass. But what holds us back is that most times we say that, then after we finish our prayer or finish whatever it is we're meditating or doing at that time, the next thing we do is we then immediately, maybe a few seconds or few minutes later, start thinking, oh, I need this, and we already cancelling that which we have just said and thanked God for. In a few minutes later, we are already saying we want that. You cannot want what you already have. For instance, you want a house and you've bought a house. You cannot want that house. You already have it. So faith is accepting that you already have it and move as though you have achieved it. It is yours, and then it will follow suit. As it says in the Bible, your word shall not return back to you void. So, exercises for today. I had sent information on the Facebook page about a journal. So write on your journal 5 goals that you hope to achieve this week, or 5 goals that you hope to achieve, that you want God to do for you, that you want to achieve. 5 goals only. And in those 5 goals, what I would like you to do on the right-hand side to measure your faith in relation to those goals. So, for instance, say I want £5,000. On the right-hand side, how do I measure my faith in relation to the £5,000? Is it measured by 5%, 10%, 20%? How do I measure my faith in relation to that? What is my faith in relation to this £5,000 I'm hoping to get? Is it 10%? So for the 5 goals, list the 5 goals and put your level of measure of faith in percentage on the right-hand side. As we go along the week, we will be referring to that. So it will be good for you to do that today, right now. Secondly, affirmation is what I use, and a lot of people swear by affirmation. Affirmation is a good way of distorting your negative thoughts that you've been thinking for such a long time. Some people don't even realize that they think negative thoughts until they start consciously being aware of what they are doing. They start realizing that there's much more negative things. When I come through that door, will I be hit? Or someone is fighting, will they hit me? Or when I check my account, how much money would I see there? Or how will I be able to survive tomorrow? We keep worrying negative things. Hardly do we think about the positive things. Do we have a positive mind? So affirmations are used to kill out, as they say, the negative things. So I've put 3 affirmations down. You can choose any one and just say it repeatedly while you're having your bath, while you're in your car, while you're going to work. Every time a negative thought comes into your mind, you cannot get it. It's not going to happen. Change it straight away with your affirmation to a positive thought. So one of them is, Lord, I trust in you. Lord, I lean on you. Thou shalt bring it to pass. So you can say it silently, Lord, I trust in you. Lord, I lean on you. Thou shalt bring it to pass. Lord, I trust in you. Lord, I lean on you. That shall bring it. Thou shall bring it to pass. The second one is, you can choose any of them. I just wrote 3 down just in case some people might want like one and not like the other one. My God meets all my needs. So that is very sweet and short. My God meets all my needs. My God meets all my needs. You're having your bath, you're in the toilet, you're driving, you're walking, you're cleaning. My God meets all my needs. 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 The third one is God's promises are built on a rock. As I have asked, I must receive. God's promises are built on a rock. And say these things with conviction. As I have asked, I must receive. God's promises are built on a rock. As I have asked, I must receive. God's promises are built on a rock. As I have asked, I must receive. Say it with conviction and with that which you want in mind as you're saying it, and with conviction. The third one is also the notebook that I've said you should get. Is write down 10 blessings. Now, these 10 blessings could be anything. It could be your family, your husband, your children, yourself. The fact that I'm talking, I'm grateful for. There's some people that can't speak. The fact that I can see, I am so grateful for. The fact that I can breathe, I am grateful for. The fact that I can eat 3 square meals in a day if I want, I am grateful. The fact that I have some money in my account, no matter how little it is, I am grateful. Because when you look at other people, it's not everybody that has what you have. You would always find people in a lesser situation or lesser desired state than you. So be grateful, because everything comes from God. Be grateful. The more you're grateful, the more you're going to get more things from God. So imagine when you're a child. I remember a couple of months ago when I've been practicing gratitude, which really changed my life last year. But one of the times when I realized that this was really powerful was when my dad, he's late now, he wanted me to get some things for him, and he said to me, "Thank you. I'm thanking you in advance." And he hit me. That was the first time he really hit me. So I said to myself, there's no way I'm not going to get this for my dad. And I'm looking at it. I have my own daughter. Afterwards, she said to me, "Oh, Mom, thanks." She's always saying, "Oh, Mom, thank you." She can say thank you 10,000 times. And I know because of that, I can do anything for her. Even if I don't have, I'll stretch out of my way to do. Because whenever you do anything for her, she'll always say the word thank you. And it touches me because I know that she's very grateful. So you can imagine God, our Father, who... He gives us things and we don't say thank you. Imagine when someone says you give someone something and the person doesn't say thank you. We always say, you might not say it out, but in your mind it's like, oh, this person is so ungrateful. So you can imagine the same thing to God. So we must be grateful. Oh, thank you, Father. Thank you for that which I've eaten. Thank you for that which I've drank. So write down 10 things, 10 blessings today. And for each one of them, be grateful for them. For each one of them, when you finish your sentence, say thank you, thank you, thank you. And feel so grateful for it. I also want you throughout the day to notice anything that is nice, whether it is good, whether it is bad that comes along your way. But most times, when you start looking for the good, you realize you have more good than bad. If it's someone who doesn't normally say hello to you, says hello to you, remember to put it at the end of the day in your gratitude book. Today is day 1. You go to write everything that you're grateful for today. Someone said hello to me. Someone that I haven't heard from in a long time sent me an email. Someone said, "How am I doing?" Someone bought me a drink. Someone said thank you. Someone bought me lunch. Or I opened my email and I saw something I hadn't seen in a long time. And I remembered, wow, this person remembered me. Anything today. Anything that is good. I went to work, came back, safe and sound. Put it in your gratitude book. At least you should have a minimum of 10 good things that has happened to you in your book. At the end of tonight, you sit down for 5 minutes, look at your gratitude book, write down all the things that's happened. Remember the day. This is what happened this afternoon. This is what happened 5 o'clock. This is what happened 6 o'clock. Try to remember these things and put it down, because the more you're grateful for things, the more good things will show up in your life. Number 4, I mentioned a bottle. So I'm still on the exercises. This is number 4 of the exercises. I mentioned a bottle to put faith power, label it faith power yesterday. This is my bottle. I don't know if you could see. So it's got faith power, faith power. And once I finish speaking, I'll be putting a full glass of I'm going to put cold, fresh water in it. So what would happen is, when you have your faith power, we want to increase our level of faith. You put your water in, and there you go. You start drinking. You bless it first. You bless the water, and then you begin to drink. So when you drink, anytime you take a sip, remember you're putting fresh faith power in you. You are increasing your level. Each drop is millions of faith power. So as you're drinking, you're increasing your level of faith. You can drink as much as you like. The more you drink, the more faith you have. Again, water is very good for the body anyway. So the more you drink, you're health conscious, the more faith power you have. So we are increasing our level of faith, so that by the end of the 5th day, the way we see things, the way we see faith, the way we see our life, we will take our life to a whole new level. Okay, so tips. So that's the end of the exercises. Tips for today. Every step you take today, walk in faith. Speak to people knowing that you have the power of faith to achieve whatever you want today and every other day. Before you make that call, leave your house, ask someone for something, pause for a second and call on the power of faith. Where you feel that your faith or belief is not strong, pause for a minute before you make that call. Say to yourself, I have faith, I have belief. Use the affirmation, for instance, to say, my God meets all my needs, and make that call. If you have been hearing no, you will hear yes. Even if you do not hear yes, you will hear something positive. Post how your day is going. We want to see, because the more you're able to communicate, the more we're able to put together, the more you're able to increase your level of faith throughout the day. It's not just watching and then taking on board and moving on. No, it's something that we have to practice. That's why it's a challenge, that for the next 5 days, you have to be doing these things. Take pictures of your bottle, take picture of your day. If you're walking, if you're lying down, if you're going to work, if you're in a car, take the picture and state, I am walking in faith. I've got faith power in me. So the other thing also is live today with confidence and positive expectation, knowing that whatever it is that you desire is already yours. All you need to do is ask, believe, and you will receive. Finally, I leave you with James chapter 1, verses 6 to 7. I'll get my Bible. So it's James chapter 1, verses 6 to 7. It says, but let him ask in faith, nothing wavering. For he that wavereth is like a wave of the sea, driven from the wind and tossed. For let not that man think that he shall receive anything of the Lord. So when you ask and believe, you do not the next minute start doubting. When that doubt comes to your mind, immediately remove it, take it off, use your affirmation, or state you have faith power. Do you have your bottle of water with you? Touch yourself, pinch yourself and say, I have faith in me. I have faith power. So when that doubt comes, remove it straight away. As you have heard, let no one waver it. Just believe, and it shall come to pass. Thank you so much. Have a lovely day. I look forward to seeing your comments. I look forward to seeing your pictures. And I look forward to seeing you again. God bless. Namaste.